Hi.
Say money is secondary for any writer, and whoever is present here will agree with me that money is not all important, but credit is where it is due. I mean, the maker should acknowledge that it was sourced from so and so book, and then it doesn't matter whether you've paid big amount of money, small amount of money, or token, or just say thank you. But he wants that his work should be acknowledged on the screen. As a writer, I feel very strongly about this.
Do you do any precautionary measure right now that has happened because things has happened in the past?
Unfortunately, no. I mean, the writers industry is so unorganized and they are so much, self-obsessed. They don't want to do anything about themselves or any precautionary measures. I try to speak to so many writers, try to bring them together, try to create a authors guild, writers guild, all that in vain. Met so many big people, but because they thought, oh, we are the star in our own world, we don't have to do that. So I said, okay, then I left all that effort.
Okay, we'll open for Q&A. Please raise your hand. Is there a mic that can go? Okay. If you have any questions to these three gentlemen, please raise your hand and we'll take it from there. Keep it short, sweet, so that we can wrap in time. Yeah, can you get the mic? Yeah, at the back. Yeah.
हाय एवरीवन, आई एम रवि फ्रॉम एबीपी न्यूज़। मेरे मन में एक सवाल है। आजकल काफ़ी कहा जाता है कि लोग जब किताब लिखते हैं तो आजकल इस बात का ध्यान रखते हैं कि उस पर फिल्म बने या कोई शो बने ओटीटी के लिए। अब लिखने का ट्रेंड जो है वो बदल रहा है। पहले लोग किताब लिखते थे और किताब के स्टाइल में लिखते थे और फिर उसमें ढूंढा जाता था, एक कहानी को ढूंढा जाता था कि इसे अडेप्ट किया जाए स्क्रीन के लिए या ओटीटी के लिए। लेकिन अब लिखने का ट्रेंड नए लोगों में बदल रहा है, इस पर काफ़ी चर्चा हो रही है। आप लोग तीनों इसको कैसे देखते हैं कि क्या आप लोग मानते हैं? और हुसैन सर, आप तो राइटर भी हैं, तो आप शायद ज़्यादा इस पर
आप जवाब देंगे?
लोग कुछ किताबों में मैंने जो पढ़ा वो लग रहा है प्रॉपर इंटरवल पॉइंट भी है. सो and I want to option that book, but there are books which are writers. Yeah, so
I would say first let them answer this question and I will address it in the end.
Let me answer.
Yeah, both of you first
all three.
have your take,
All-
then we can. Yeah.
मेरे हिसाब से ऐसे राइटर मतलब अगर वो फिल्म लिख रहे हैं तो एज अ डायरेक्टर मुझे बहुत अजीब लगेगा अगर यहाँ पे हम क्लोजअप में देखते हैं कि ऐसा लिखेगा तो फिर मज़ा नहीं आएगा ना. तो कहानी का आई डोंट नो, मतलब आई डोंट थिंक दैट्स द बेस्ट वे टू राइट. उनका वो जो कोशिश कर रहे हैं वो समझ में आ रहा है कि क्यों कर रहे हैं, लेकिन जो पढ़ने वाले हैं, खरीदने वाले हैं, वो इतना भी बेवकूफ़ नहीं. उनको भी अपना काम करने दो ना. तो
सिद्धार्थ सर, आप कुछ बोलेंगे और हुसैन सर?
नहीं, मेरे ख्याल से लोग अभी सिनेमा से इतने इन्फ्लुएंस्ड हैं, इवन इफ यू आर अ राइटर, that you tend to you tend to write cinematically as well. So I wouldn't always blame it on the fact that they want to sell the rights to their book in the audiovisual medium. We've grown up in an age of audiovisual medium, so you have to ascribe some credit to the fact that these are writers who also think cinematically, and maybe that's why they're writing in that way. But yes, I have read certain books where it is very obvious that the book's been written for the screen and for someone to be able to see the potential in it to be made as a film or a series.
हुसैन सर, मॉनेटरी एस्पेक्ट उसका इन्फ्लुएंस ज़्यादा है राइटर्स पे आजकल?
एक्चुअली देखिए, ये राइटर्स अगर ऐसा कर रहे हैं तो थोड़ा सा वो अपने पेशे के साथ में बहुत ज़्यादा ईमानदारी से नहीं काम कर रहे हैं. बिकॉज रियल लाइफ इंसिडेंट्स बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग होते हैं, उस पर फिल्में या सीरीज़ बनती हैं. उनको लिखना चाहिए, लेकिन इस सीरीज़ से नहीं कि वो अडेप्ट हो, इस नियत से नहीं कि वो अडेप्ट हो, स्क्रीन पे जाए. मे बी द आइडिया इज़ कि उनकी किताबें ज़्यादा बिकेंगी, मे विल दे गेट मोर रेवेन्यू, बट उस इंटेंशन से लिखना आई थिंक इज़ नॉट अ वेरी नाइस थिंग टू डू.
मेरा सवाल है, it got mentioned about life rights. तो मान लीजिए कोई शख्सियत है जो मौजूद है, जिंदा है, उसके ऊपर एक किताब लिखी, तो is it about Hi, sorry. So my question is, you mentioned life rights, but we couldn't have a discussion on that. Supposingly there is a person alive, and there is a book written, a biographical book written on that person. Does that mean that you need to have rights both for the book and also life rights from the person? That's question number one. Question number two, what if that person is notorious? Is in jail, is in prison, is villainous?
no, happened with Gangubai.
Yeah. So does that mean that you would still approach that person and give the life rights and buy the life rights? How does that work?
See, I'll give you a couple of examples. So when we were making Oi Lucky Lucky Oi, it's based on a few people, but there's one it's based on more than others probably. And therefore, there was a little bit of a discussion around that. But then we finally decided to go ahead because it wasn't completely based on one person. In the case of Pan Singh Tomar, it was completely based on one person, and there we did have to do, an understanding with the family. So it depends on if the director writer are being influenced by one person, but also adapting lots of other stories that they're bringing into it. Then that becomes something that you need to take like sort of legal advice on. And in that case, the person was actually in jail at that time. But in the case of Pan Singh Tomar, where it is so clear that it is based on someone's life. In the case of Rocket Boys as well, we went to the Sarabhai family and we spoke to the Sarabhai family, and the Sarabhai family were happy for us at no cost to tell the story of Vikram Sarabhai and actually helped us out with that. Now, there happened to be a book written on him as well, but since we were talking to the family directly, we didn't really need to acquire the rights to the book. So it's very case dependent, really, and you should always take legal advice on it.
And Sid, there are a lot of books on that, but that's the original writing, right? I mean, you
Yes.
might have done your research, but
Yes,
okay.
exactly.
Okay.
So I will just add one more point to this. I mean, agar jaise this book Raw Hitman, where it's about a commando, I have taken life rights from this guy. So book was written after life rights are acquired. So if someone is adapting it into a movie or something, I already have the life rights, so it's safe to make a movie on this kind of book. In case of a notorious person, like I'll give you one real life incident, Abu Salim. He was dead against the idea of me writing a book on his life. He wanted me to write a screenplay. I said, I don't write screenplay, I write a book. He said, आपको पता नहीं है ज़ैदी साहब, आपको लोग बोरी भर के पैसे देंगे अगर आप स्क्रीन पे लिखेंगे. वैसे आज तक किसी ने दिया नहीं है. But he was saying that he was trying to dissuade me from writing that book. Nevertheless, I went ahead and wrote the book, and he was very pissed with me. He approached the Sessions Court, the Tata Court that he was being prosecuted. He got my book banned to that court. Imagine, Sessions Court banned my book, My Name is Abu Salim. So my lawyer said it is not in it's in the jurisdiction of the court. The court is only supposed to prosecute him. They can't ban your book. They have no say in it. So I approached High Court. I got that ban vacated, and the High Court in their judgment clearly said that Abu Salim is a public personality. This man is a journalist, has been writing about him for years. Salim had never any objection to those writings. How can you object to this book, which is now the compilation of all those writings and research that he has done? So notorious persons, I mean, they have always been in writing, they have been written about, they have been extensively covered in news coverage. So I don't think that unless they have reformed and become good citizens.
One addendum. I mean, you can say it on the mic. So if supposingly you have the life rights, he'll say that. If you have the life rights,
Yeah.
does the producer buy the life rights from you?
No, he doesn't have to, because I have already bought the life rights. So he doesn't have to go and do that again.
No, but do they buy it from you?
I think if it's based on the book, then I think it's a safe bet. They don't have to go another buying life rights again. They don't have to pay it twice. I mean, I have paid him once. Again, the producer will pay it to that person. It's not needed.
Hussein, the other way also has happened with Black Friday.
Yeah.
I remember the release got stalled because the case was still going on.
Yeah.
But the book, there was no issue, right?
With the book, there was no issue. They only said that the movie might prejudice.
Yeah.
I'm just quoting the judgment. Might prejudice the viewers before the judgment. So I only think, even to this day, that viewers might get prejudiced, but not the courts. So why ban the movie?
And it was banned just before, I think, release week.
Yeah, just before that. Yes.
Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
Hi, this is Sana from Indian Express. Of course, non-fiction or real stories has a different take, but when it comes to adapting fiction, the biggest point is that people know the story. People already know what the climax is. So as filmmakers, how important does it get for you to adapt it in a way that has something new for the audience to watch?
Yeah, but I think that's the skill of the script writer, because I mean the best example would be Godfather, which you have read the book. In fact, it's almost written for people who have read the book. There's so much in that book. So, I mean, if we are doing, for example, Psycho is a thriller, which was a book first. The moment Hitchcock found it, he bought all the copies of the bookshelves. He said, don't release this book anywhere till my movie comes out. No, we can't do that. Everybody can't do that. So you have to just be smart and hope that this happens mostly in films which have got twists and turns and things like that. In a book like Namesake, I mean, that's a beautiful reading experience. The movie is another visual experience. So in fact, sometimes you want to go and see the film because you loved the book. So.
Shiram, to add to that, like your next film, Ek Case, people know the real life story is documented, but you're not bothered कि सबको पता है या उसमें twist and turn नहीं है sir.
नहीं, क्योंकि वो कहानी का मतलब it is in public domain, and of course we also have got rights from people and everything. But the thing is, it's a different medium. How are you? I mean, what you read will be 10 minutes. It's very evocative. Can I spend 2.5 hours making it if as evocative as the challenge.
Right.
So when you are the moderator,
Hussain
but
sir?
I have a question for you too, because you also must be reading a lot of scripts. Tell me, in a time when we are all seeing how big budgeted films and over the top drama is working on theaters, how do you balance something which is maybe a very serious or important tale, but is not expected to be like a big film on screen?
As in, we are doing or not doing? I mean, I didn't get the question.
How do you balance, like, do you pick up something that has the potential to be a big film, or do you actually pick up important stories?
No, we are doing all kinds. For us, when we're looking at the stories at Dharma Dramatic, is the novelty factor is important. It can be a smaller story, it can be a bigger story. You know, it doesn't matter. And bigger story, of course, Sid and everyone will tell you to scale up a star and budget and how to do it. But even if there's a smaller story that stands out, you know, we did a film called Razi, or I did a film called Talwar. Those were smaller stories, you know. Of course, Razi became a big hit, but that time I remember Alia wasn't that big. The budget was some 38 or 28. We're struggling. कि अरे 28 में बन जाए 30 जा रहा है, because उसका benchmark was, I think, Nirja or somebody female-led film का benchmark was 60-70 crore, not more than that. So that was a small story, then it became big. Talwar, again, it was a small budget film. So you're looking for the stories, you know, that are exciting. Can they become big or small, depend on what else comes to that. Sid, do you have to add anything to that?
No, I think what you said is correct. It really depends on the extent to which you want to scale something up, but then scaling something up comes with a lot of other factors. You need to cast it up, you need to, you know, you need to commercially probably add elements to it that can justify that budget. So it comes with its pros and cons.
हुसैन साहब, मेरा सवाल आपसे है, आज इंटरनेट के इरा में बुक राइटर्स का भविष्य आप किस तरह से देखते हैं? क्योंकि राइटिंग का मकसद, बुक राइटिंग का मकसद ये हुआ करता था कि पहले के दौर में ऑडियो विजुअल मीडियम जो था वो इतना आसान नहीं था. आज सोशल मीडिया के दौर में बहुत ही इजी है. तो आपको लगता है कि भविष्य में इस तरह के राइटर पैदा होंगे जो बुक लिखेंगे, या आपको लगता है कि भविष्य ऑडियो वीडियो का मीडियम होगा केवल? आपकी क्या राय है इस पर?
देखिए, मेरे ख्याल में आज एआई का ज़माना है, उसके बावजूद भी लोगों की इंसानी विजडम जो है वो आज भी सुपीरियर मानी जाती है, और एआई ने किसी को थ्रेटन नहीं किया है. उसी तरह से ये भले सोशल मीडिया और इंटरनेट बहुत अपने बूम कर रहा होगा, बट एक रियल राइटर, उसका विजन, उसकी स्टोरी टेलिंग टेक्निक, उसका खुद का क्राफ्ट अपने आप में हमेशा सुपीरियर रहेगा. ये सारी चीज़ें होती रहेंगी, बट इट इज़ नॉट गोइंग टू थ्रेटन और चैलेंज हिज टैलेंट एट ऑल इन एनी वे. तो एक राइटर जो वाकई एक अच्छा और यानी गुणवान राइटर है, उसकी राइटिंग पे से कोई फ़र्क नहीं पड़ेगा. इनको चलने दीजिए, वो अपनी राइटिंग और अपनी सलाहियतें, अपनी कला पे वो अच्छा काम करते रह सकता है. आई डोंट फील देयर इज़ एनी चैलेंज और एनी थ्रेट टू हिम एट ऑल इन एनी वे. उसको जाके लोगों को इंटरव्यू करना होगा, इंस्टेड ऑफ रीडिंग इंटरनेट से जो भी आया है उसके फेसबुक पे कहीं भी लिखा हुआ पढ़ लिया. लेट्स नॉट फॉलो. देखो, अक्सर गूगल में बहुत गलत होती हैं. मतलब मैं आपसे क्या कहूँ कि कितने सारे इंसिडेंट्स है कि मैंने जब क्रॉस चेक करने देखा तो गूगल कुछ बकवास कर रहा था, और रियल लाइफ में जो कोर्ट डॉक्यूमेंट्स थे, एफआईआर थे, उसमें बहुत कुछ अलग ही लिखा हुआ था. तो इसलिए उन चीज़ों में रिलाई भी नहीं करना चाहिए, वो बहुत कुछ गलत और नॉनसेंस होता है. एक रियल राइटर जो अपना खुद का लेगवर्क करेगा, लोगों इंटरव्यू करेगा, डॉक्यूमेंट्स चेक करेगा, पढ़ेगा, वो ज़्यादा बेहतर होगा.
Hussein, when you're writing or when you chance upon a story, you never feel that I should write directly as a film. Has it ever happened? Because, or you get more interested and excited writing the book, that comes easy to you.
ये कुछ और भी कहना
एक सवाल मेरा कंटिन्यू था सर आपसे. मैं ये जानना चाहता था, जब आपने राइटिंग की शुरुआत की थी तो शायद ही आपने कभी सोचा होगा कि आपके लिखी हुई बुक पर फिल्में बनेगी. जब अब फिल्में बन रही है, इतनी हिट हो रही है, तो अब कभी ऐसा जहन में आता लिखते वक्त कि अब यार फिल्मों के लिए लिखना है, क्योंकि शायद भविष्य में जाकर इस पर फिल्म बन जाए? कुछ इस तरह से दिमाग में चलता है अब लिखते वक्त?
ठीक है, मैं पहले इनका जवाब देता हूँ, फिर मैं आपको. हाँ, ये जो कहानी, जहाँ तक लिखनी जो सवाल है कि वो कहाँ से कैसे लिखी जाए. 1997 में व्हेन आई स्टार्टेड राइटिंग ब्लैक फ्राइडे, my teacher Vikram Chandra said, don't write a story, show a story. तो उनका जो एम्फेसिस बात पे था कि आप कहानी मत लिखिए. उस कहानी जब लिखी जाती है तो बहुत सा प्रोज होता है, बहुत से शब्द होते हैं, बहुत से एक्सप्रेशंस होते हैं जो शायद लोगों को बाउंसर जाएंगे, लेकिन जब आप उस सीन को दर्शाएंगे, जब लोगों को बताना चाहेंगे, तब एक आम आदमी भी उस कहानी को एंजॉय कर सकता है. सो आई स्टार्टेड दैट पर्सपेक्टिव. 97 में बहुत स्ट्रगल कर रहा था, मुझसे लिखा नहीं जाता था क्योंकि मैं एक राइटर था. माई क्राफ्ट वॉज टोटली डिफरेंट. लाइक फुटबॉल और क्रिकेट दोनों में बॉल होते हैं, इट्स अ डिफरेंट बॉल गेम. तो वही तकलीफ मैंने वहाँ उस वक्त फेस की थी. लेकिन मैंने कभी ऐसा सोचा नहीं कि मेरी फिल्में जो हैं उसको किताबों पे फिल्म बननी चाहिए या वो किताबों को लोग फिल्में बनाएं, बिकॉज आई वाज ऑलवेज अ जर्नलिस्ट. आई वुड लाइक टू बी रेड. अब वो एक अलग चीज़ है कि हो गई और लोगों ने देखना उसको पसंद किया। एक किताब मैंने लिखी थी इस इंटेंशन से, आज तक सच्ची बात यह है, जो मैं चाहता उस पर फिल्म बने, जो मेरा एक सपना थी, मुंबई एवेंजर्स। मतलब उस ज़माने में मैंने सोचा था कि म्यूनिक ने जाके अपना बदला ले लिया, इसराइल ने म्यूनिक का, इतना छोटा सा मुल्क है लेकिन उन्होंने जाके अपना बदला ले लिया। हम इतना महान जो है देश होने के बाद भी जब भी पाकिस्तान कोई आतंकवादी एक्टिविटी करता है हम जाके बोलते हैं देखो मारा मम्मी। तो मुझे बहुत बुरा लगता था कि वाई आर वी नॉट डूइंग दिस। तो मैंने तब एक सपने के तहत लिखा कि 26/11 में हमने इतने सालों तक पाकिस्तान से फरियाद की है, अमेरिका का दरवाज़ा खटखटाया और सबसे हमने कहा वाई डोंट वी गो एंड डू इट आवरसेल्व्स। सो वो किताब उस सपने के तहत लिखी गई थी कि इस पर फिल्म बनना चाहिए और लोगों को मालूम पड़ना चाहिए कि अगर हमारे यहाँ आतंकवादी होगी, अगर आतंकवाद आएंगे हम उसका बदला लेंगे और हमें किसी के परमिशन की ज़रूरत नहीं है। खैर वो फिर कबीर खान ने और साजिद भाई ने बना भी दी, वो और बात है। इसके अलावा मैंने कोई किताब उस सपने के तहत नहीं लिखी मैंने।
Okay, thank you, thanks. Okay, there's one last question. We'll tell quickly, short and
Yeah,
sweet.
quick question. I just was wondering that as a writer, if you have a book which you've written, but it hasn't been published yet, and you are also keen on turning that novel into a film, so you work with other writers to turn that into a screenplay, if you also have the ability to do that as the writer, would there be a recommended approach to figuring that out? I mean, maybe perhaps having the film made before the book is published and then having the book published separately, or is there any any thoughts
First
on
thing,
that?
you should get the book published, and there are so many publishers who are willing to give chance to new writers, promising upcoming writers. Get that published. I mean, there was a time when there was a monopoly of only 2 publishers, 3 publishers. Today we have plenty of them. So don't try to haggle at the money part or advance part. Get that published. Having said that, don't commit suicide by self-publish. Don't publish a book yourself. You should approach a publisher. Even you can go and make an offer. I don't want any money here. I don't want any royalties. Just publish my book and I'll promote it. Then once it is published, then you make efforts for that to be adapted and converted into a movie. Otherwise, getting the movie first will be quite a difficult thing. I don't know whether that works. For some people it does. But for you, I think, or anyone, I would recommend publish it first, whichever way it could be.
Okay, that's a wrap. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very
Anupama.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen, from the lady in the mix. Thank you so much for doing this. Could we have a quick picture with all of you? And all of you, please, there's a short break. Stay back for the next session. It's a hybrid session on writing on cinema. You'll be, the panelists are Nasreen Muni Kabir, Ashish Rajadaksh, Rashmi Dorai Swami, and holding it all together will be Pratyush Parsuraman. Thank you.